Hey, welcome back to the Fevolution podcast. I'm your host, Erica Marie, and today we about to talk about why your business keeps pulling you out of the CEO role. Okay? Because if every time you try to take a step back from the day to day to focus on leading your business and it just keeps pulling you right back in, that's not just a leadership problem, okay? That is a protection problem. And a lot of us are trying to become the CEO of a business that was never built to support that CEO role. So, you can go ahead, you can block that time off your calendar for your CEO days, right? You can automate things in your business, systemize it, try to delegate more. But if your foundation is fragile, right, then your business is still going to reach for you to stabilize it first before it goes anywhere else. Because you the backup plan for your own business, right? And when you're the backup plan, that means you don't have no protection. You have codependency. You're depending on your business to support your life, to fund it, right? And your business is depending on you to function well enough to do that. It has to have you to support it. Okay? So today we're going to talk about the red flags, the ones that show up when your business doesn't have enough protection to allow you to stay in that CEO role that you want to have so bad. We're not shaming, okay? We just gonna reveal the truth. That's it. I promise. Because once we start naming these things and showing the red flags, we can stop normalizing this codependency that we have with our business. All right. So let's get into it. Red flag number one. All right. You can't step away without feeling it in your nervous system. So if you try to step away for a day, a weekend, even a few hours, that's not planned, right? And your body can't actually relax, that's a red flag. If you're technically off, but your mind is still checking in on your business, that's not you being responsible and a business owner, right? That is hypervigilance. Yeah. Hypervigilance is not a leadership strategy, okay? It's just being on edge, all right? And a lot of us have normalized having our business on the brain and being on edge about it by calling it caring, right? We're passionate, we're responsible. That's just how it is when you're an entrepreneur, right? But really, it is a sign that your business still needs your body to create safety for it. If your presence is the thing that's standing between calm and chaos inside of your business, then your business ain't protected. All right. If your nervous system has to stay on alert just in case your team needs you, just in case something happens and you got to be there to step in and take control, right? Then your business ain't protected enough. Because a protected business does not need the founder's body to function as the alarm system for it. Okay? So that's the first red flag. Your business doesn't just need your leadership, right? It needs your constant internal availability. And that's why you can't fully step away. Which brings me to red flag number two. Every decision still has to come through you. Now, being a CEO, yes, you're supposed to approve things, right? It is your business, but There is a difference, okay? Because if every decision requires your memory, that's a red flag. Decisions or your team being able to make decisions should be documented. You should have a process for that. You should have some sort of decision tree so that you ain't got to keep everything in your head. And they know what to do when you're not there. All right. Yes, a CEO should set the direction of the company. Okay. But the CEO should not have to be the human permission slip for the entire business, for everything. If your team cannot tell what matters without you, if your systems cannot guide the next step without you, if every exception lands right back in your lap, the issue is not that you're important, right? It's that the business has no decision structure. There's no system for making decisions. And when there's no system, you are the system. That's how you get trapped. That's why you can't stay in your CEO role, right? Because everything that happens in your business, every single little task still depends on your brain to make sure it gets handled correctly. And that's not authority, okay? That is operational dependency. And that's going to eat your CEO role alive. All right? Because you can't stay in strategy when the business keeps asking you to think for every single thing that happens inside of it. So if everything has to wait on you to continue to move, then that's proof you're not actually leading. Okay? It's proof that the structure can't even move without you. Nothing gets done. Which brings me to red flag number 3. Your body is being used as part of your business model. Because if your business only works because you keep overextending, that's a red flag. If your capacity is the buffer, right? If your rest is always the thing being sacrificed, if your recovery keeps getting pushed behind the business's needs, then your body has become a part of the business model. And I need you to hear that clearly, okay? That's not success. That's not, oh, I built a business where I can lead, where my team needs me, my business needs me to function. That is not success. That's being on 24/7 and it's exposure. Because we're human. We all need breaks. Can't nobody be on 24/7, 365, 366 if it's a leap year, right? But a protected business, it does not require the founder, you, to stay depleted in order to stay operational. It doesn't need your exhaustion to close the gap and get things done, okay? It doesn't need you over functioning to cover what the foundation never was built for. That's so backwards. But that's also why self-care matters so much inside of FemFlow. And no, we never talk about surface level self-care, okay? We're talking about capacity protection. Your ability to recover, your ability to think clearly, your ability to make decisions without being drained first. Because if the business keeps feeding on your reserves, then it's not supporting you. You're supporting it. And again, that is backwards. Your business should not need your body as collateral to keep going. Which brings me to red flag number 4. Because since you're on all the time and you're steady growing your business, right? Here's the red flag with growth. Your growth, the way you built it, gave you more to manage, not more room to lead. So if your business grew, but your freedom didn't grow with it, that's a red flag. More revenue should not automatically mean more pressure. More clients should not automatically mean less capacity. More visibility should not automatically mean less room to breathe. If growth made your business feel way heavier than it was before, then you did not grow protection. You grew exposure and dependency, right? And this is where a lot of us get caught up, okay? Because from the outside, our business looks good, right? We got more money, we got more activity going on, we having more opportunities, but internally, we feel more trapped. That's not protected growth. That is expansion without containment. Meaning you don't got a solid foundation for all this expanding you doing, so all that weight's gonna come right back on you. The goal is not to build something bigger that still owns you. The goal is to build something protected enough to support the role you're trying to step into. Because growth without protection doesn't create freedom. I say it all the time, okay? It just creates a bigger dependency system. And eventually, that dependency is going to pull you right back in. So let's bring this together for you, all right? Because I know I just gave you a lot, all right? So if you heard yourself, right? Or if any of these red flags they sound familiar to you, you're like, damn, that's me. I don't want you to hear shame in that, okay? I want you to hear information. It's a signal. Because the issue is not that you're failing at being a CEO. The issue is that you're trying to hold a CEO role on top of a business that wasn't built with enough protection to sustain it. And that's different, okay? You already know old money logic teaches us to make money first and protect ourselves later. But fem money logic, we don't do that, right? We're all about protection first. Because if the money comes in, but the foundation can't protect you, there's no structure in place, then your business is still fragile. It might be paying you, you might be growing, it might look good on paper, right? But if every single disruption hits your nervous system first, it's not supporting you. You're supporting it. And that is exactly what FemFlow is here to change, okay? Don't get it twisted. Because FemFlow is the system you use when you're tired of being the backup plan for your business. If every time something unexpected happens, you feel it in your nervous system, then your money ain't actually supporting you. You're supporting it. And FemFlow flips that. It makes your money absorb the shocks so you don't have to. So your nervous system don't got to be activated 24/7. And that same logic has to exist inside your business. Because you cannot build a protected CEO role on top of an unprotected financial system or business foundation, right? You need structure. You need visibility. You need decision rules. You need capacity protection. You need a way to know where the business is exposed before it turns into another emergency. And that's just part of what doing money the fem way means, okay? It means you stop using yourself as the protection plan for your business. So here's what I want you to do when it comes to this episode, okay? Take some time and I want you to think, which one of these red flags hit you the hardest? Was it that you can't step away without bracing or still being on, right? Was it that every decision still comes through you? Not the big ones, even the small ones, right? Every single decision. Was it that your body is being used as part of your business model? Or was it that growth gave you more to manage, but not more room to lead? Whatever you felt sting the most for you, that's probably where your protection gap is, okay? So that just means it's time to book your FemFit session and start using FemFlow so we can unlock your FPI, right? Your FemFlow Protection Index. And start building your protection up before those red flags make you a statistic. And I know you know what I mean. We already have enough stacked against us as business owners. And I'm not saying this to scare you or force you into urgency, okay? That's not what I'm about. That's not why FemFlow exists, okay? I am saying that because until you've truly built protection into your business, not just income, then your business will continue to keep pulling you back in every time you try to take a step back. So it's time for you to take action. Book your FemFit session. That's your next move because that is the only place where we can look at what's actually happening in your business, where your protection is breaking down or where it doesn't even exist, where you're still being used as the buffer for your business, and what it's going to take to start rebuilding it the Fem way, right? And get you out of that cycle where your business keeps dragging you back in. Because you don't need to keep proving that you can carry a business that was never built to carry itself. Okay? You can start building it differently now. Which brings me to next week's episode. You all already know. Okay? Next week, we're going to talk about the difference between a business that pays you and one that protects you. Okay? Because a lot of y'all are getting compensated by a business that is still draining you. And we going to talk about it. All right? So make sure you follow the Fevolution podcast. Turn on your notifications. And I'm going to see y'all next week because we're going to talk about it. Okay? Bye.